Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to another episode of Final Possession. I got my main man, drunk Uncle Darius up top. I got my drunk Uncle Zoo down below. And y'all know who I am. I'm Jay Will. Hey, I just want y'all to know, we're going to start the show off like this. Zulu, you got anything to say before I get into what I was going to say?
Nah, please start it off. This new for us.
Look, basketball started back. The Grizzlies look good, for the first game. By me now, it is the Knicks, but they look good so far. We got 2 injuries. Jay to 3. And then, you feel me, Dylan ain't playing, but, sometimes he need to pass the ball. But other than that, who y'all got winning the championship this year? What's the vibes like in terms of basketball for NBA? And whenever college roll around, chat, we gonna jump into that. So
On top, I got us in Brooklyn to the championship. Early prediction. I think with a healthy Brooklyn team, when they get the gelling, which is gonna happen real soon, we got no distractions from Kyrie. Ben Simmons is there. Seth Curry is coming back. I think they still got to get a little physical and bigger up front. However, I think they'll be good coming out the Eastern Conference. Out the West, I'm all in on the Memphis Grizzlies. We got, as long as we stay healthy, Jaren Jackson come back, Ja Morant continue his high level of play, Desmond Bain continue his high level of play, and we see what we can get out of Jake LaRave off the bench. It should be an interesting year for the Grizzlies. I mean, we finished in the top 3 last year. There's no reason for me to believe we can't finish in the top 3 again.
what?
Uh, well, out of the East, always I'm gonna say Heat and 6. It's not gonna change. No year, not once.
I might think you need
Tyler,
to change that, fam, because
yeah,
the Heat ain't won at 6 yet.
you can hold on to that how you want to, but guess what? I'm gonna hold on. The start of the season, this Heat and 6 still right. Tyler Hero got paid, so I'm hoping that they whether I guess that means he's a starter now or he's a 6 man. I just expect more out of him. But in the next year, I still think we could get a big. I think Boogie's out there. I would still take Boogie right now just to add some size, a little playmaking on offense, especially with depending on how Bam looks coming out, because we saw him be exposed again in the playoffs. It didn't help that well. Cut a lot of quiet games when we needed him to be big, right? And then depending on what the moves are, Pat Riley always got something up his sleeve. So I just know we're gonna need some type of bucket somewhere, whether it's just off the bench, just to help some guys, spell some guys. Like we can't run Jimmy to the ground. Kyle Lowry, I don't know if he'll get hurt again. I can't have that happen. I'll take Jay Crowder back in the fold because I don't believe he's signed yet either.
Nah.
Exactly. So like I would have took Jay
He
Crowder
got cut?
over PJ Tucker, yeah. So
But
I would
he was a free agent. They didn't re-sign him.
Oh,
they didn't
okay.
resign him, yeah. So I would take him in PJ Tucker's spot every day, because he can still try to score streaky, but sometimes when he on, and he plays defense. So we'll see how that goes for us. At the West, I am a
You know,
Pelicans fan when it comes to Western Conference teams. So let's
I
do
mean,
it that way.
fan, but you know the vibes, man.
No, I know the vibes, right? I'm watching them smack Brooklyn right now. So
Brooklyn end up winning.
yeah, okay, we'll see. It's the third. We'll find out.
I mean, Brooklyn,
Yeah,
you gotta understand, bro. Brooklyn ain't none of them even played. The only 3 people that consistently play together right now is Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and Claxton. Everybody else
that's
is really
cool.
basically new at this
That's all
point.
well and cool. I'm not saying they're not gonna be a threat. If it wasn't Miami, Brooklyn's my pick out the East, so that's fine. But
You
I got
biased.
I got the pick. I am. Yeah, they got they got a blue devil on the court, so they gonna take me with them. Anyway, I got the Pels coming out, bro. I had a high take on another space, bro. I got Bi fighting for MVP. Hold it right there. Don't worry about nothing else. Don't worry about nothing else. Don't worry about nothing else.
Oh,
They
fuck, I
got my
mute
boy
this nigga.
Bi. They got
I
my
mute
dog
him,
CJ
chat.
McCollum, and I got my boy Zion. I'm straight. All right. Now we can go onward. Basketball, we will continue to touch it, team. So chat, please be with us. We're gonna talk about it, NBA and college when it gets here in full effect. You know, basketball don't get turned up until Christmas, All Star break. Let's be realistic. Um,
But
just,
look, besides that, chat, let's hop into it. I know I'm gonna start off in college. How much I don't want to start talking about this. I asked a few people about this SC game, and Darius told me one thing, Zulu told me one thing, and Zero told me one thing. The one thing that I consistently know is it sounds like the problem is Alex Grinch. I don't understand why this man Lincoln Riley love this dude.
Man, that man gave up 234 yards to a tight end.
Bruh, they said he was like Jackson and Jigba out there.
Bro, that bro's out there like grunt.
He did whatever he wanted, fam.
Every day. I'm like, bro, to a tight end, to a receiver. How serious was Jordan Addison's injury?
I don't know. He left the game. Well, y'all told me he left the game towards the end. He was in a boot and on crutches.
Was he?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is week 8, so I don't know if it's a high ankle sprain, he probably done for the year. More than likely, unless they make the playoffs. So I mean, you have to see. I mean, they still explosive enough to win games, but
yeah, I think Mario Williams gonna be a star.
I mean, he'd be back next year for sure.
Yeah, I think he gonna end up being a star. One of them track guys who are high flyer, take the top out the defense, but it's gonna be hard to replace Jordan Addison if you can't come back. Maybe, hopefully, that the boot and the crutches was a precautionary, but that's a big blow. But I think Caleb Williams still get it done and Troy Dye. That climb, let me tell you though, it's still beneficial for USC because the Pac-12 is so competitive.
It is.
For a change.
All they got to do is, if USC wants to make the playoffs, all they got to do is they basically going to have to beat UCLA ass twice.
You got to beat UCLA, and they're going to have to beat Oregon.
Well, yep.
They beat both of them, get them 2 rounds.
Well, the way it's looking from the standings I checked, it looks like Oregon is under USC. Only because they play less games. They probably be tied right now, and they're going to look at the tiebreakers of who Oregon lost to, because Oregon lost to somebody.
Georgia.
They got drug. Ain't just lose.
I'm talking about, they ain't lose nobody in the Pac-12? I thought they 2 lost. They might not.
Nah, they got, and they back in the top 10. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So this game,
and luckily they play each other this weekend. So like
this game between UCLA and Oregon hold a lot of weight.
Oh yeah.
Oregon.
So whoever loses this game, as long as it's not a blowout, won't drop far. So USC gonna still have a chance to probably beat 2 top 15 teams, right? So where's USC in the rankings right now?
12. Drop 12.
So you're gonna get a chance to play 2 top 15 teams. You beat both of them, then you go to the Pac-12 championship game. You're gonna be in. I'm not saying you're gonna get in, but it's gonna be a conversation around 5 and 6 where you said the strength of schedule gonna come and play where USC has played Oregon, they play UCLA, who will probably still be ranked. They play Washington State, and they play Utah.
True.
And they lost by 1. All those teams likely to be ranked when that conversation started happening. So I think the strength of schedule and the resume for USC works in their favor. I think the only thing that has to happen is that they have to win out.
I said that from the beginning. But I mean, like, the Pac-12 look good this year, but it ain't going to matter in 2 years. The Pac-12 is basically USC and UCLA in similar terms. Yeah. Oregon throws they pitch in there every now and then, but it's usually Utah. It's been Washington a couple of years. And then, USC has been off the map since 2017. So, I mean, but that's neither here and there. But UT, y'all called it. I give y'all props for that, man. I give y'all props for that. There's a lot of trolling by BAMA, but I give y'all the props because they forgot how to stop Hyatt.
I mean, it was gonna be as much as we are used to seeing Bama handle those games and do those things. It was gonna be hard. Bryce Young coming off the injury he had to hopefully you're gonna get the best out of UT regardless. One, because it's Bama, what they did to them the last time they played, right? And then now that they have some credibility by themselves, they don't want to fall flat on their face. So you're going to draw up something. You're going to know he's going to get touched or try to get touched because he did some miraculous things out there. You could tell Bryce Young is the only reason why they were in that game because if he doesn't play, it's not even close.
Exactly.
No, I already said that.
And then a lot of people brought up officiating. It was bad both ways on a couple calls here and there. But, I mean, The better team won ultimately. That's just how it was.
I mean, Nick Saban didn't do his typical Nick Saban thing that I thought he would do. He took away absolutely nothing.
I think what stands out the most to me is the amount of penalties that Alabama carried. Right,
Yeah.
so
In the first quarter.
it's not even like questionable calls. It's offsides, it's holding, it's defensive holding, it's pass interference. Like it's all these things that we're not used to seeing the Alabama defense. Granted, they have never been this five-star caliber defense. However, on the other side of it, they've always been disciplined. So when you take that factor away and couple it with the lack of defensive DB play, then you get a spread offense and a high tempo offense like Tennessee. It caused havoc.
Yeah,
Now, I think what Josh Heupel did and the Tennessee Volunteers did best, and I think what was instrumental in them winning this game is that Dallas Turner and Will Anderson was a complete non-factor in this game. Will Anderson's name did not get called as often as we thought it would. Dallas Turner name got called because he scooped and scored a fumble that was a error by Tennessee. Right. So I think Josh Heupel deserves a lot of credit for his game plan. In my opinion, Hendon Hooker is the lead Heisman winner as right now.
Yep.
I don't think nobody's playing at a higher level football as Hendon Hooker is.
Unless you want to give it to Corn from Michigan.
I was gonna get there. Even with Cedric Tillman not even playing, right? So it don't even look like they missing their best receiver. It looks like Jalen Hyatt is their best receiver. He's definitely their fastest receiver. I tell you that. But with the duo, I mean, you factor in the duo with Jamari Small and the other guy, and I think Tennessee is a complete team offensively, and they do just enough on defense not to lose the game. Right.
Now,
and
granted, also, my bad to cut you off, just to let you know about their defense. They were missing a couple starters on defense in the defensive backfield, actually. So it's not even like they just had their guys all out.
We just know Tennessee. Tennessee defense ain't going.
We're not great, but just
they need to keep them in games. They need to keep a score game. If they keep a score game, their offense will score literally out of 10 possessions. They will score 8 of them, 7 of them.
And it works out so well for Tennessee because normally when these teams come off these emotional wins, these big wins, they go into the next week and they lose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tennessee play UT Martin next week or this week. So it works out so perfectly before they go back into conference play. They got their little cupcake game. They probably won't take it too lightly, but the score will probably be like 40-0 in the first half. And they're going to get rested up and prepared for the following week. And I think Tennessee is the team to beat. Not only in the SEC, but in the country right now.
I agree. Zero said, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say also, to the point about Bama, right? Like, they had penalties from the guys that's been there, that's been, like, trained up. It's not like their young guys was out there going crazy getting penalties. It's Will Anderson got called for a couple, like, back-to-back. You got guys that who've been under Nick Saban for a while, have been trained to not do those things, that were very uncommon to themselves. So it's just another thing I think.
Brian Branch's guys, he got him a couple flags.
Like, I agree with you with the UT take that they are probably the best team in the country, which I figured they may be at some point if they play well. We thought they could. And then I think, man, honestly, this might be that time everybody's talked about the unravel of Bama youth, and they gonna lose some guys this year.
Look, I don't think it's what's killing Alabama this year. I think we all mutually agreed on this about 2 weeks on this show. If you ain't checked it out, it's on YouTube. The receivers, they don't have any. Right. They got the freshmen that they got that we supposedly hear they're gonna be good, but this
we've been
Holder
years now.
Who?
Yeah.
Brooks.
Yep.
He's the best receiving option. He a tight end.
Yep. I also heard that Holden was supposed to be a good receiver too.
He's just a guy.
He don't catch ball. He can't catch. He catching a ball like this over the middle when no one's around him. Like,
he had like 2 catches last week, right?
I mean, he dropped a key one that could have got him a first down. That really what busted open for Tennessee when they wide open in the middle of the field, just dropped it, and he knew it. I don't even remember him getting back in the game, honestly, but
he got back in. He had to catch after the. I think he only had 2. Though.
Yeah, because I mean, the catches he did have were actually pretty big, but after that, he was non-existent.
I mean, he's like that every week.
But in all of that darkness, Bryce Young and Jamar Gibbs probably the best quarterback and running back tandem.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
Them
they're
boys,
crazy.
and
So,
it's terrible to see that, right? For Alabama to have them type of guys at the position that stand out. Like usually got a solid group of running backs and a decent
how
quarterback.
much?
Or the quarterback, had that. It's never like the receivers usually are like the guys we hear about.
The-
You actually got them at the two most important. Well, one of the most important positions, and one that get the most touches.
No, it's the two most important positions.
Depending on who you talking to, but I'm saying they get the most touches regardless.
I mean, he got to know. He run routes. He in slot. He pick up blocks. He run the ball.
He's insane.
He does everything.
But what I was about to say was the crazy part about it is you can see a rematch of that game in the SEC championship because they was on two different sides.
Yep.
But
It's not happening again.
Zero said LSU with a big win this week, and he said also C.J. Stroud putting up the best stats this year. But to me, he ain't playing nobody. So
That's what first let me address both. Yeah, I agree with you, Josh. C.J. Stroud, he's doing what he's supposed to do, right?
Yeah, that's all
He's doing what he's supposed to do. Nobody expected Henry Hooker to be at this level right now.
no.
Right. I'm expecting Tennessee to be the number 2 team.
Well, we at least would have seen them stumble to two teams so far, if you had to pick it. If not 2-1 for sure,
Who?
it would have been Alabama.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they had something.
I don't know Pitt. I didn't know what Pitt had this year, and it looked like they missed Kenny Pickett and Jordan Addison. But I mean, they made a fair game out of it.
I mean, Pitt is tough. I mean, they play like a lot of rank. In comparison to Ohio State, they played the better teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And second thing is, I wouldn't necessarily say LSU with a big win. I mean, they beat.
No, I'm saying like I don't think teams coming into this year. I don't think they had them beating them in Death Valley. I don't think they did coming into this season.
Florida, you mean the swamp?
No, I'm talking about Tennessee beating LSU.
Oh, my bad. He was talking about LSU going to Florida.
Oh, my bad. That's me.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say LSU beating Florida is a big win.
Oh.
Hey, now what is big though? Jay Daniels. Let's talk about Jay Daniels. Let's give him some praise, please, just a little bit.
No.
I mean,
What?
he did well. Like we've been.
He's supposed to be, bro. He's a 5th-year senior. He's supposed to be doing this already.
Can we take him for what he's getting right now though? Because he hasn't been.
Look, I'm gonna say it like this: we ain't expecting Jane Daniels to come out here and win the Heisman or anything like that. But like, you shouldn't be losing to Tennessee with I don't even know what their defense rank, but I'm pretty sure it's above 50 in the country. By
Serviceable. Like he
in
ain't.
the top 20.
okay, whatever.
Rankings?
Defense, yeah.
UT top 20.
Top 20.
Well, after this week, they ain't top 20. Unless you know that now. But I mean, but we ain't expecting, Jaden Daniels come out there and win the Heisman. Like, bro, they were expecting him just to look better each and every week, and he don't.
He looks the same every week.
We don't know. Look, in 2 weeks, we don't know what Jaden Daniels we get when they play Alabama. I don't even know who they play this week, and I don't even know what Jaden Daniels they getting.
Hopefully, he's the guy we just saw in Florida. I don't want to see my guy succeed.
I mean,
you so optimistic. I love it.
Me too.
Somebody gotta be.
Hey, look, look. Off the topic, Darius, what's your picks this week?
Clemson got a huge game. Huge game versus Syracuse. Syracuse is a very, very tough opponent. I'm expecting right now Clemson is favored at 13. Somehow, I don't think Clemson are better double-digit opponents, but somehow they keep beating these teams by double digits. I don't know how they do it, but they do.
It's easy.
So I'm going to say plus 13 for Syracuse. I think they keep it close. Syracuse play them tough every year. I think that's probably one of the biggest games. Then you got Ole Miss and LSU. Now, I'm really not sold on Ole Miss, not even the slightest. It really wouldn't surprise me.
It's in Baton Rouge?
I would take LSU. It really wouldn't surprise me that if LSU wins this game, wouldn't surprise me on the slightest. Ole Miss is suspect on defense.
Wheels?
They not complete on offense like Jackson Dart does just enough. However, they got two outstanding running backs in the backfield.
Crazy duo.
But LSU is not a team you just gonna run against. So Jackson Dart gonna have to be on his toughest game against probably one of the better secondaries in the SEC. I don't see it happening. I like LSU for the win.
Where's it
Now,
at? Baden?
It's NBR. Yeah, it's NBR.
now one a marquee matchup,
Night game?
2:30.
2:30. Yeah.
Marquee matchup between UCLA and Oregon.
Big
I
game.
watched UCLA 3 games. I've seen Oregon play in 2. I don't know. I don't know how this game could turn out. I honestly think it go either way.
Go
My
Chip.
gut want to tell me to go with DTR and Chip Kelly with the more experienced offensive coordinators and the more experienced offensive quarterback in this system. They are running the ball tremendously with Zach Charbonnet. They're playing defenses lights out for UCLA. Bo on the contrast though, Bo Nix looks amazing in Oregon. In the few games that I saw, I mean, he had the one blemish versus Georgia, but ever since then he's been outstanding. It's gonna be a very good game to watch. And in the last game that I'm keeping my eye on, and I'll probably keep my eye on just for more of a Sonny Dykes' sake to see how far he can go. TCU and Kansas State. TCU and Kansas State is going to be a phenomenal game to watch. If you've been following TCU, you understand how fun this team has been all year. They got the outstanding Max Duggan at the helm with the probably with the arguably the best receiver in the country, than Quentin Johnston, and he'd probably be the first receiver off the board. But Kansas State is tough. We know what Adrian Martinez is about. They got the little rough running back in the backfield. Kansas State is a complete team on defense, so it's gonna be a good weekend.
Yep. And also, like, every year Kansas has a game like that against a team that you don't necessarily like. Granted, they are pretty good if you watch them play, but they have a game against a team that you don't think they should necessarily beat because the way TCU has been playing, you would think that's a TCU game to watch with regardless. But Kansas State is the team to do it if they're gonna do it. So
yeah, and
because if it wasn't Kansas, obviously we know there was some other factors into that. But if it wasn't Kansas State might have to do it.
Let's talk about the head coach's first year. LSU, Florida, Oklahoma, USC, and that team out in South Florida.
Yeah, I just think my question always is with the first year, right? Expectation. You got the fans' expectations, right? And then you got like what you see in the recruiting class, this and the third, and then like where's the line? Like there's obviously a line where like if a dude does terrible, it's like say if Brian Kelly didn't have a winning record with the team that he had, he chose JD to come in there and be the starter, and JD's playing as bad as we say he's been playing, right? And they were losing, they were 0-, whatever the record would be at this point. Would you think you give him another year to try to right the ship? Because I mean, college is not his guys. He got time to put his program, put his scheme in, but it just seems like it's just a big disparity of who gets that time to. Hey, he's not his guys, give him time, or you got those guys who's like, nah, he gotta go. It's just terrible. Get him out of there.
Okay. I'm gonna say this. Me and Darius probably agree on this. He left Notre Dame for LSU. It ain't you getting you signing like three getting about 12 3-stars, whatever. No. You getting the the top 5 players at your positions at LSU. They got some people that's gonna go to the draft in terms of Brian Kelly on that team. It's about can he develop them. So far, he looked like the same development at QB everywhere he been. So, but any other position, as we know, Brian Kelly, he kind of brings a decent defense. He lacks the athletes. He was lacking the athletes at Notre Dame, and I just feel like he don't know how to get them the ball at LSU at this point. But I guess he got Booty involved this past week, and look how it looked. So now, how can we establish in doing that? In terms of all the other schools, Florida. I don't think many people expected much out of Florida besides AR. And
that's all hype train anyway, so that wasn't like it just established.
Oklahoma, we didn't know what we had. They lost their quarterback, one of the top freshmen in the country. They lost one of the top sophomore receivers in the country. They lost a bunch of pieces. But in terms of that school down south, Miami. Y'all making this a disgrace to football right now.
Nah, I mean, we're a young team though overall. Outside of our quarterback,
Look, I don't care if y'all a young team or not. Y'all can lose to A&M, cool. Middle Tennessee State is, hey.
Hey, bro, you act like we the only team that had a bad loss, fam. Like,
Who else had a bad? Who else had a bad loss?
We tried. Did we not consider Texas A&M loss a bad loss?
I did, but you know.
I'm just saying. Who else? Notre Dame had a bad. I mean, other schools. I can go down the list.
Bro, you don't even know. Bro, you can't even name me 3 people on Notre Dame, fam. You don't even know who the quarterback is.
Yeah, I don't care who he is.
But based off of y'all, let's get off of you. Y'all have a top 10 quarterback projected. 7, to be honest.
True.
And y'all lost to Middle Tennessee State. No.
Drew Pine is the quarterback.
He the quarterback now. Huh?
Yeah, now. Beginning of the year, who know who that dude was? Man.
So I'm a chime in. So in comparison to the others, I think Lincoln Riley is exceeding expectations.
Yeah.
Right. Surprising to who? Nobody. Right. This is what we expected coming in. This is what USC looks exactly how I thought they would look coming in. Miami is gonna take some time. You know, Mario Cristobal. See, I'm all with giving the first year head coaches a couple years, right? So I understand like those are not your players. Those are somebody else's players you probably wouldn't even looked at had you been the coach in the beginning. Now, give me time to get my people in here around their third or fourth year. We starting to see the recruiting classes. Okay. We starting to see the talent. Okay. Now let's give me another year when they get in that system, another 2 years. Then you start talking about competition. And I think that's the case for LSU and Brian Kelly. They look, I told y'all at the beginning, they look exactly how I thought they was going to look. I didn't expect much out of LSU this year because those are not Brian Kelly's players. And you coupled it with bringing Jay Daniels from Arizona State, who I followed for the last 3 years, and I knew, right, this is what he would do.
He like him because he can run, fam. That's the only thing I can see.
Florida and Billy Napier. Billy Napier is a hell of a coach. I think he'll get that turned around. I think the issue with Florida is so much hype and so much expectation came with Anthony Richardson, right? So they was putting him in the first round, and he only threw 33 career passes prior to the beginning of the season, and they was putting him in the first round. So you couple that, and you talk about, oh, maybe Florida. Man, no, Florida was exactly what Florida was. It was just the media made it worse than it was, right? And as far as for Brent Venables, I think give him a couple years to dress his defense because he's a defensive head coach.
I think it's an offensive thing there right now.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Yeah. I said give him a couple years to turn around because he's a defensive head coach, and his teams are going to be driven by defense, right? And the offense is going to be sustainable like it is now. It's sustainable, but they ain't stopping nobody because he don't have the players he need on defense to make plays. Like this OU defense look just like the OU defense is always look like. Even when Lincoln Riley was there.
See, this is why I say, I agree with Darius. But as a big program, it's like having Clay Helton as the head coach, and they go out there and lose to Rice.
Clay Helton go.
Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
But and he went go beat Scott. He got Scott Frost fired. But in terms of Miami, this is all I'm gonna say. Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's going to do in the next couple of years, what it may be. Right. But you don't lose to Middle Tennessee State at home. That's it. They can lose any other game to ACC school, SEC school. You just don't lose to Middle Tennessee State at home. And then the fashion y'all lost, they scored 50.
I don't disagree with you, fam. We on the same boat. I'm just saying in terms of that, right? Like for me, that'd be a telltale sign if I'm the AD looking at it like, hey fam, this is not what we signed you up for, right? Knowing about how Cristobal got hired and all those things like that, right? I know they're gonna give him time. I just think, as well as it's probably a wake up call for a coach because I think that needs to happen for some coaches too. Like, hey, trying to force my idea on what the program should be when it's not built like that right now, it ain't gonna work because obviously what you've been trying ain't really been. Ultimately, the success you thought you were going to have in the first 5 weeks of the season, coupled with the loss to a team that you shouldn't be in a game with, right? Now you know, hey, we got to give Van Dyke a chance to throw the ball. You do that the next week, he goes out there and give you 300 plus, a couple tubs. You're using the young talent that you do have because they got to grow up somehow, right? So you use them. and you come out and have a better game against. Granted, it's a Virginia Tech team that no one thinks is very good, but it's better from the start. Like the fourth quarter could be better because we didn't score no points, but you just gotta. I feel like it's a give and take with the player coach relationship, and so I just want to know what that line was for y'all. That's all. But I agree with you 1,000%. Yeah, MT shouldn't. I shouldn't see that on my schedule.
Not 50. Y'all can lose. Y'all can lose 21-14. Y'all didn't score enough. Defense played well. Nobody played well.
Yep.
Like,
that's a coaching and culture check. If that's how it's going down, for sure.
Yeah, I feel it. I definitely understand. Hey, the one thing I'm gonna say as we switch over to NFL, I don't care if the Broncos are on primetime TV. I am never watching a Broncos game for the rest of this year. I don't understand the disappointment in the offense. I'm blaming it on both of them, the head coach and the QB.
Bad.
And I talked to my friend earlier, and I went back and watched the All 22. Now, yes, Russell Wilson deserves a ton of that credit. But if you go back and watch from the coach's view, those receivers wasn't getting open, fam.
They wasn't. But what routes were they running?
That's another thing, right? So it has to start blending in somewhere. Like Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson, the receivers, y'all got to meet at some common ground. But you just look on the sideline, it's like no chemistry whatsoever. It's no, all right, this is open, this is open. Nobody's talking to nobody. I honestly think the Broncos are missing leadership more than they missing anything, right? There's nobody between the head coach, quarterback, and Cortland Sutton. Nobody's just stepping in as their role as leader. Everybody just seemed like, let's play and let's see if we can figure it out. But see the messages Russell Wilson put on Twitter, but that's all it is, it seems like. But they have an outstanding defense. I must have. That defense. I underestimated them coming in. I'm like, bro, they ain't they for real.
They like that. I don't know what you had going on.
Yeah. PS2 out there, crazy.
Yeah. It's another thing. Like your comments to about Florida. The same thing for Denver, right? Like the media hyped it up, so the expectations are already through the roof. The division itself put expectations
already, right?
But it was talked about. I think Shannon Sharp said something about it, and then also I know Rich Sherman said something about it always. But like, I don't think we understand how much of the system of Seattle boosted Russell before it was just let Russ cook, right? And so you go to a spot where Nathaniel Hackett hasn't been a head coach before, hasn't even been a coordinator before. So he's trying to learn a whole new idea of coaching, and then you go in there with pretty young receiver talent. None of them are outside of Cortland Sutton before he got hurt was somebody that's established. Jerry Jeudy, project still. KJ Hamler, if you use him right, he can be something, but they still don't know how to use him yet. All the speed he got. And then you just know the defense is there, right? So you would think this is like Seattle all over again. We got a defense. We got something out there.
Or it's just like Denver, like it's been in the past 3 or 4 years when Vic Fangio we keep saying they're a quarterback away, right? So they go and trade all this draft capital to get this quarterback that they thought was away, and they look exactly the same as they did with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater.
I think it's a lack of receivers. They got one. I don't believe in Jeudy. KJ Hamler is supposed to be out there stretching the field. Ever since he tore his ACL, he don't look the same.
Yeah. I mean, but I just don't think KJ Hamler get the reps he's supposed to have, in my opinion.
That's a true statement.
I mean,
how did that come to Nathaniel Hackett? Like, who to put?
Who do what's your rotation look like?
You're supposed to be figuring out, like we talked about at the beginning. This all the stuff you're supposed to be figuring out in the first 4 games, right? So what's my rotation? Who I need to have in what situations? When we going to Cortland Sutton in the game? When we going to KJ Hamler in the game? When we going like all this stuff you're supposed to figure out in the first 4 games. That's why you take the losses in the first 4 games.
Hackett, I don't believe he sit down and look at X and O's and pick the matchup we picking on this week.
I think that Nathaniel Hackett got his job because he was Aaron Rodgers' quarterback coach.
Quarterback coach, literally.
You got to sit there and really process it.
Well, before you go, also you got to think the idea of Denver wasn't rushed to start. No way. I hope everybody knows that. Like it was Aaron Rodgers in the air. Let's get Hackett in here because that's his guy. They go, you ain't really got to coach offense with Aaron Rodgers. You can have Aaron Rodgers can draw it up himself. Like, I know what you can do. I know what you can do. I can get you the ball too. And so when that changes, now you actually had to sit down and be a coach, something you've never been before.
To be honest, I believe Russell can draw it up himself to a certain extent.
Well, at least that's what I believe before.
That's what you would assume.
But
Yeah.
I never seen that you have a mobile quarterback. You don't find him ways to get out the pocket. He's sitting in the pocket 75% of the time.
If you watch the game, he's nervous, right?
Yeah, he don't even want to move on his own. Like that's
I discredit the Chargers.
Yeah,
defense.
no, not at all.
You got Khalil Mack coming out the edge, so he give you a reason to be nervous. But if you sit there and watch the game, he's snapping the ball. His first read not open, and he what to do next, right? So it's very different from what we accustomed to seeing from Russ. But maybe it was more or less peak coaching than it was Russell Wilson playing like he kind of was.
My biggest thing is Hackett. He can't be sitting down the week before and saying, "All right, we playing the Chargers. I want to go at Murray whenever he at the game. Whenever he's in the game, we going at Murray or we going at J.C. Jackson. We going at something." He don't sit there. I can't fathom him doing that. Because if he would have did that all his weeks, I don't see it. To be honest, I only see one game they lost. Maybe it was probably to the Chargers.
Yeah,
only because of the mistakes that they had at the end, the key mistakes they were having. So
no, I agree. No reason they should have lost to the Raiders. There's no reason they should have lost to the Raiders, right? I don't care who you get on offense of the ball. The Raiders has absolutely nobody on defense side of the ball other than Max Crosby, right? So Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, and Judy should at least be taking advantage of 60 yards apiece at the minimum, right? You should beat them. You came back and beat San Fran.
They should have beat the Colts.
Terrible clock management. Should have beat the Colts, right?
They should be 4-2 at the worst.
Why are you throwing the ball inside the 15-yard line with no? Okay, so you should have beat the Colts. And terrible clock management versus the Seahawks. You attempted the 6. Now, granted, Brandon McManus is a terrific field goal kicker. We know what he's capable of. But you got to get that first down to make sure.
Get the first, give him some insurance.
I agree with Zero.
And now you can't. Well, either you don't or you can't run the ball because your best running option is gun down. You don't trust Melvin Gordon
because you wouldn't even giving him the carries he's supposed to have.
Exactly. Now, then your next option, Melvin Gordon, you put him on ice apparently.
I don't know.
Latavius Murray. I mean, we got some reasons for him, but you know how it goes.
I mean, I need somebody to explain to me why Melvin Gordon was on ice.
Nobody knows. He released the article to say he did nothing wrong. It was just not. And he still had a point. He said it wasn't enough plays because our time we did dominate time of possession. Right? We was 3 yards here, 5 yards here, 7 yards here. We never went over 10 yards. Right? So he probably telling the truth, but still in those plays, you can't tell me that Melvin Gordon can cut in to Javonte Williams' workload, where he can't cut in to Latavius Murray and Mike Boone.
Mike Boone, facts. Yeah, that's my thing. I'm like, if your best guy can share, everybody else. Latavius Murray just got here.
Yes, Zero. He is the worst coach in the league this year.
Touches over Melvin Gordon, he just got here like a week ago.
Even if you gonna chalk it up to fumbles or whatever, bro, but you knew that you signed him, so you knew what was up before.
But you gotta understand, he ain't fumbled since what? The Raiders?
Who ain't fumbled since the Raiders? You talking about Melvin Gordon?
I don't remember him losing a fumble since the Raiders. That's 2 weeks ago. He ain't lose a fumble since the Raiders.
I mean, we ain't talking about losses, but the fact that it's fumbling at all.
If that's the case, we could talk about Russell just sitting back there in the pocket not throwing the ball. But hey, he ain't bench him.
Which is you can't bench him. You paid him way too much to bench him, family.
He might not even be playing this week. So
Russell might not be playing.
Nope. Hamstring.
Yeah, I sit out too. Hinting at QB.
So I mean, it's a lot of debacle going on in Denver right now that just don't make sense.
We can't put our fingers on it, but we all agree that Hackett is a terrible. I said that week 1. And we throwing screens inside of a minute and 10 left in the game, fam. Like we ain't got Russell Wilson. I'm finna say it like Darius. Russell Wilson back there at QB. I don't understand it. What y'all think about the state of the Bills being 5-1, the Jets are 4-2, and they went in and beat the Packers, and you know you got the Giants at 5-1. Best division in football.
Hey,
NFC
the state
East.
of New York, should be should be cheering from the rafters. Every team in New York doing
Darius
well.
don't like this
The,
Bill
Yan-
situation coming up.
The Yankees in the MLB playoffs. All the football teams good. That's good for their money. Everybody can go to a game. Who knows that basketball? We don't know
It's
about
the
that.
same Knicks
Zero,
right now.
Zero said Saints to the Super Bowl, but
You know what's going on. Hey, I feel you, Zero. And so little. So I got a couple points for that, right? So the Giants definitely overperforming. Like I think that's a credit to Coach D.
and
right?
Daniel Jones,
Uh,
I actually give him some credit this year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing just enough to protect the ball because he's not doing anything great.
Just
He's
wait till he
doing
starts
just enough
stumbling on the field and shit.
to protect the ball because they're 24th offense, 17th defense, they're 30th pass offense, but they're the 4th rushing offense in the league. So shout out to Saquon for resurgence.
But
Go ahead.
those numbers are not Daniel Jones's problem because he's playing at the level, but who is he playing it with?
Absolutely me.
You know what I mean? Like, so I believe if which the rumors are, if they go get Chase Claypool, I think you'll see those passing numbers go up a bit.
Right.
But then maybe Kadarius Toney come back, or maybe he won't. Or maybe Kenny Galladay comes back, or maybe he won't.
What's up with Kadarius?
Well, see, that's my thing with that being
Nobody
said,
know.
like, it could have been just a lack thereof in the rotation because Kenny Galladay, we all agree, has just either fallen off a cliff, whether it's injuries, his body giving out on him, or he just don't know what he's doing. You put a guy who's been there for a while, Slayton, back in, he comes back in like nothing's ever changed for him, which we still don't know why he wasn't playing, but that's another thing. They did have injuries to Wan'Dale Robinson for a while. Kadarius Toney had an injury coming into the thing. Shep went out, and so you had those are things that do.
Shep
factor
was a
into
big
the
loss.
offense. Right.
Yeah, it was
So that's something that factors into it. But at the same time, you're still not asking. No, we didn't go in the season thinking we're gonna ask Daniel Jones to go pull a Josh Allen by any means. So he's gotta let's run through Saquon a little bit. Let's check.
I think the expectations he could have been Kirk Cousins at the minimum.
Yeah, I mean, if everything goes great in the offseason, everybody comes in 100%, I'm sure he might have a shot to that. But we'll see, because now that the guys that are playing are going to be there consistently, it might change. It might open up a little bit, because that running game is going to open up looks for offense. And he's done just enough to protect the ball, which is something everybody had a question about going into the year for Daniel Jones ever.
I piggyback that it just shows you how important coaching is. Right, so he has some terrible coaches, terrible GMs, terrible rosters, and now you get this first year GM, your first year head coach, and you look like how we thought you would look your rookie year.
Yep.
At least the second year.
It's an example of what the Jets look like now. You get
No, Zach Wilson is still ass.
To that point,
I'm just saying though, but you got some consistency there. He's covered up real well.
He's ass.
he's
not doing nothing. Like only thing he's not doing is not turning the ball over, really. And he's
that's all
been.
you gotta do.
In my opinion,
That's the case. Shit.
Daniel Jones doing the same thing. He's
In my
playing
opinion-
better than what we've had it for him, but he's not turning the ball over. He's doing what you're supposed to do at quarterback. Go ahead, folks.
No. In my opinion,
I don't agree with that either.
no. I think Daniel Jones is capable of moving the ball. I think Brees Hall and Michael Carter is moving the ball for the Jets.
They
Right?
are.
No reason Elijah Moore should have 0 catches in no game.
I agree.
Right? Gary
Wilson,
was way more of an option with Joe Flacco at quarterback.
right?
All of them. Don't say all of them.
Corey Davis, everybody.
Is holding the Jets back offensively.
Exactly. I think it's that.
Right.
Right.
So if you put anybody else in that, any young quarterback you want, you put Justin Fields on the Jets, it's a completely different offense.
But I'm not saying he's not underperforming. I'm not trying to praise Zach Wilson for anything. It's obviously he's not playing to any standard that anybody thought he would be. I'm saying, but it has to be for them to be as good as they are. Coaching has covered that up completely. Whether it's relying on the running game, the defense is young, doing great.
I mean, it's gonna have to be uncovered eventually.
I was just about to say
Because they're gonna stop the run.
It's not
We
gonna
don't know when.
It's not gonna be.
It could be this week.
It
They're
could
gonna
be.
force Zach Wilson to beat them. Somebody's gonna force Zach Wilson to beat them.
I believe it 100%. And by that time, if it changes, it changes. If it don't, it don't. Right now, it's working. And that's a credit to coaching. If that's what you got to do if we got to stop him from throwing the ball to win a game, by all means, if that works, we know what works. Then do that. That's good coaching. That's all I'm saying.
Look,
I mean,
look.
Zach Wilson gonna have to step up at some point. Absolutely.
Definitely run up coach of the year. Definitely.
I say he in the conversation. Got to be.
Look, all of us.
Your favorite team last though. We ain't talking about his favorite team yet in New York. That's why
He ate them.
I had to make sure we waited for them. Right?
They 5 and something, right? I don't know what they is. I think they 5-1. Just beat the Chiefs. Something the Chargers couldn't do. But
yeah. They got the number 1 offense, number 2 defense. You know what I mean?
They probably be in the Super Bowl.
They got somebody in the top 3 conversation, the MVP.
I mean, I could have sworn he told me he wasn't gonna be MVP. He probably won right now at MVP voting.
He's not. He shouldn't be.
He probably still should be Jalen, I think. But
it definitely should be Jalen Hurts, right? So it's crazy how much gas did Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills. He threw 2 touchdowns.
Chargers suck.
Bro, dude on TV, right? He's like, Patrick Mahomes can't do what Josh Allen do. Bro, all he did was jump over somebody. Why would I want my quarterback jumping over people to begin with? Right?
So that's Jalen Hurts.
Like, bro, the gas is so serious when it comes
That's
to
what Jalen Hurts be doing, fam.
But ain't that great that he can be an all-star and a game manager? Like something you need completely in your quarterback.
I'm not complaining about him being a game manager, but they just
mad
that he was Michael Jordan, bro, and he wasn't.
He is Jumpman 17.
He was not Mike. Like, bro, let any other quarterback be a game manager, bro.
There's only 2 Jumpman 17s in the league: D. Adams and Josh Allen.
Now Buffalo, okay, they 5-1, right? I'm still not impressed. I'm being honest with you.
That's not what you told you would tell chat. You said you will come if they win.
I said if they go out there and blow them by 40, I would be impressed. I didn't say if they win.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
But y'all know I'm not impressed with Kansas City either. Like, everybody got this hype, bro.
So you're not impressed with the Chargers?
Number 1 in the division.
Huh?
Number 1 in y'all division.
You're not impressed by the Chargers?
1 in our division. Come on, man. Come on. Like, we really should be 5-1 if we really want to talk about it. But look, though, here's the thing, right?
No, y'all really should be 2-4 right now.
We should be 5-1.
Go ahead, bless it up.
Here's the thing, bro. Like, I never thought Kansas City would have beat Buffalo because they're so limited on offense. They're not going to beat none of the good teams like that, right? They beat the Chargers, even though that's my team. They beat us because of a mistake we made, not because they was better than us. But
sound like they better than me,
right? So they forcing Patrick Mahomes, which he's playing outstanding. I'm giving his credit. He is playing outstanding. But they're forcing Kansas City to be methodical. That's not who Kansas City is. Kansas City, the 50 plays here.
Are they forcing them, or they just miss Tyreek?
Well, they just adjusting. They ain't got to miss Tyreek to adjust.
They miss Tyreek. If they had Tyreek, they might be undefeated right now.
They miss Tyreek Hill, and they're having to be methodical because people just swear that Marquez he's a good player.
Miko.
Right? But he's not Tyreek. Right, Juju Smith-Schuster had his best game of the year, right? But you take all of that away. None of those, who are those players you're going to the crunch time when Kelsey is double covered?
Triple coverage.
You can't get them because all of these guys are capable of being single covered. Every last one of them, right? They brought in Scott Moore. Maybe he'll be featured more coming down the line, but we'll see. I'm not impressed with neither one, but yeah, Buffalo's 5-1. Congratulations.
He's so salty. Zero said 2-4, 1-5. If you let me see all 22 film, talking about the Chargers.
I'm not gonna address ignorance. It's just point out ignorance. I'm not addressing.
Hey, what y'all think about Robbie Anderson? Well, first of all, before I get into that, ain't nobody gonna disrespect my former quarterback at USC. All right, Sam Darnold looks 1,000% better than Baker Mayfield every single year in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie Anderson speaks on it. Development wasn't right in the Jets. They got the right people there now. I mean, they still ain't developing the QB now, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's just the New York curse. You see that, Gino.
Now, I just think the media pushed Zach Wilson to 2. He was not the second best quarterback in the draft. He wasn't even the fifth best quarterback in the draft.
He was a project from the start. He rode a hype train, BYU for whatever reason. And
BYU played this.
I mean, BYU went undefeated or maybe lost one game COVID season.
But
And
I mean, that's like they play the schedule like, yeah, you should have beat all of them,
yeah.
right? You're supposed to do that versus all of them.
I think they beat USC that year too.
North Carolina gave him his work. Yeah.
He in the only good team they played, he struggled against. So I think the media put Zach Wilson there too. He wasn't the second best quarterback. Definitely, if I was the Jets, I would have took Justin Fields.
Well, in terms of Carolina, I think they're gonna shake that whole team up. Christian probably won't be there next year. DJ Moore probably gonna request a trade. Sam Darnold probably won't be there next year either. Baker, they can keep him. They gonna suck still next year. I feel bad for their defense because their secondary, their cornerbacks and their whole secondary.
They're nice.
That's what they way better than on paper. They're way better than what they records say. Yeah. Right.
They tough. I seen J.C. Horn bully Debo.
But they let the media push Baker Mayfield into the starting position. He's not better than Sam Darnold. You can't even get DJ Moore the ball, bro. You can't get Robert Anderson the ball, bro. Like these players then Matt Rule get on the presser and say they not getting open. But these 1,000-yard receivers we talking about now. All of a sudden they can't get open with Baker Mayfield. They was getting open last year.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not even these 1,000-yard receivers. These are DJ Moore and throw him the ball. That's why he got fired, bro. I don't care. Baker comes to the sideline. What you seeing? I don't see nobody open. All right, cool. You don't see nobody open. Two somewhere open. He's somewhere running around. Just throw the ball to him.
I told y'all my frustration after week 2, bro. They had Cordell Flat covering DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
Bro.
He is not him.
43 yards and a touchdown, bro. That is sick. That's sick, bro.
Hey, Zero said Justin Fields on his last leg over there. Hey, bro, Cub might die, bro.
No love, bro.
I think he fed up with Chicago. It wouldn't surprise me if Justin Fields. I think he's fed up with Chicago. Like it's nothing he could have did versus on their last drive versus the Commanders for them to win that game, bro. All Darnell Mooney had to do was catch the ball.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it happens, man. That's from Darnell Mooney not getting the ball too. That's his first game, even seeing more than 6 targets, and we don't even know what the targets look like. Really, it could just be go balls.
And that's solely on play calling. Like if you watch the Chicago game, but the play calling is abysmal too. Like
I just don't believe your best receiver Mooney and you not throwing him the ball like DJ Moore.
Yeah, I think they need to trade Robert Quinn to the Chargers. Robert Quinn as the edge 3 for the Chargers would be crazy. That's nasty work.
Hey, take your fantasies on somewhere, Phil. Take your fantasies on.
Just like you vetoed my trade, bitch.
I knew you was gonna try that, bro. But to your original question about Robbie Anderson and AZ, I think he could be good down the line. I don't think the first week. I don't expect that.
I don't think it's gonna be good.
I mean, they need it.
And AZ,
they got Hollywood and Nuke back now.
He out for
Hollywood. I mean, no, I'm saying like when they actually fully healthy, you got Hollywood, Nuke, and you got Rondell, and he runs a college system. He likes to get the ball out quick. And we're gonna run it suddenly. We're gonna take our shots. Desperately.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool because Robert Anderson is legit deep threat.
He is.
So
what you go to full wide now? Nuke and Robbie outside, and then you put Hollywood and what you got?
That's what he want to do anyway. You can move and match Hollywood and run it more how you.
That's what he been doing.
You got guys like you got D-Hop who's just a one-on-one winner. Always, right? He gonna see double, triple coverage sometimes. So you got 2 guys that's interchangeable. Hollywood, Rondell Moore moving around. Robbie Anderson, take it off.
Then it gives you the opportunity and the flexibility to take AJ Green old tail off the field, right?
I also hating on 18 over there because that man ran the wrong route last year. This man still got this hate towards this man, bro.
But AJ Green's production this year is non-existent.
It is. I think he hurt.
He don't fit that scheme. He just don't fit. I don't think.
I got a question. It might be funny, bro. When the last time y'all seen Julio play?
I told you what Julio was gonna do for them, man. I don't know why everybody got excited and thought something was gonna change.
Bro, Julio played 1 week, fam. I ain't seen him since.
He played Kansas City.
It didn't matter.
He was sleeping there.
He was dressed up.
He need to retire. Zero said Justin Fields can't see the field consistently. And he said it don't matter. That direct deposit is gonna hit at the end of the season. So
that's true, but that's part of because it's a bad situation in Chicago. You can't.
I just don't like that situation for him.
When you're running for your life,
My cuz is finna die.
Right.
it's not even like he's running because he can run. Like it's like I was running because I have to. It's,
I got to get away. Like it's
Sick.
bad.
Yeah, D-Jack to Baltimore. How y'all feel? Wheels, I know if you still in here.
It's helpful. It ain't gonna cure nothing though.
I mean, but why, bro? They got Devin Duvernay. They signed Andy Isabella. They got James Procyse. Then you go get D-Jack. Like, what is the goal here?
To go deep at all costs, it sound like.
Worst case scenario, you can throw it up somewhere.
Nah, that ain't no throw up type situation, man.
I'm talking about like you ain't got to throw it up. I'm talking about like just let it go. See somebody go get it.
Bro, they need somebody like Chase Claypool. They need somebody like Kenny Galladay.
They need a 50-50 guy.
Yeah, like need one of them 50-50, like somebody like Mike Williams. They need somebody that go out there and make the contested catch.
Yep.
Right? John Bateman, he's going to be your possession receiver. He's going to move the chains. Devin Duvernay is already doing his job with taking the top off. Now you need somebody when all of that is covered. All right, throw it to Cub. He's going to come down with it's the 80-20. Well, it's only one 80-20 receiver in the league. That's Mike Williams. So, but it's 50-50. Right?
You're right. It's more 45, 55. Let's get that more realistic.
That man here so wild.
That man crazy. Hey,
Again, I think it's just another lapse of whether it's the players or it's the system, bro. Like something ain't clicking and ain't changing because it's showing up in the fourth quarters. Lamar's playing crazy through the first three, and the fourth quarter come the defense don't help him either by any means. And then defenses get it like, hey, let's get at Mark Andrews and worry about the rest.
I don't know about the defense not helping him either, bro.
I don't either.
I mean, going to the fourth quarter, everybody melts in the fourth quarter. It seems like for that team. Like
fam, I think it's an equal share there.
I mean,
the team.
Game, bro. They really
Just
didn't
at the defense.
I was just saying, Lamar and the defense have melted in the fourth quarter. The team.
I mean, that's what I mean. Like, other than that Miami game, bro, they really haven't melted defensively.
Oh.
Right? They get behind the A box.
Oh, Bills, but that really wasn't a melt because they only scored 20.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think what's killing them are the turnovers late.
Yep.
These turnovers late. You talk about the Bills. Threw an interception at the end. I mean, in the
going for it. I mean, he had no choice.
Yeah.
You going for it. You might just. Well, I ain't gonna say just throw it up, but let's see what can happen.
You talk about the Giants, right? You go back to back with a turnover in your own red zone, right? So of course, the Giants, these still NFL teams we playing.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. Like you turn the ball over on the team, the team gonna score likely, right? So I don't know about the defense is melting. I think the defense has played their part for the most part in these 6 games. I give them one where they melted, and that was versus. There's no excuse giving up 28 points in one quarter.
There's no excuse giving up damn near 30 points and a half.
But other than that, I mean, I think they have held their own. I think they played well enough to win. Are they this person? No.
And I'm saying it could definitely be. It's definitely conducive to the situation that offense is lacking, so it puts more pressure on your defense to stop. Because I mean, not necessarily that team's got to score 14 for them to quote unquote melt, but the situation they used to being advantageous to, they can't be because we didn't gave the ball up. You know, we playing safe because we done gave the ball up twice in the fourth, like you said. So it's not necessarily like just the defense is just falling apart. So let me correct my speech when I say meltdown like that.
I definitely feel it. What y'all feel about Dak coming back this week? I'm pretty sure he'll be back.
Got to knock the dust out. He's being cleared medically. They expect
it's practice reps.
Yeah, it's gonna be. He coming back versus the best team.
Yeah, right. And I don't think the Dallas really needs to change much though. It still needs to be let's try to establish a run, get some pressure, and then we take our shots with CD, Michael Gallup, as he's still getting back in the fold. Noah Brown now's emerged. You know what I'm saying?
Are y'all impressed with CD Lamb? If you had to go redraft, would you draft him where he went?
You talking about in the NFL draft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Based off how he came out, I still draft him.
What was he? Second? I'm talking about based off what you see now.
What I know? Nah, I'm taking it's some other guy. Who came in the draft? Some other guy that's taking him over him.
Oh, he came out Justin, right?
Huh?
He came out Justin, right? Justin Jefferson.
Right? Yeah. Like Jetta's going before him. Yeah, Bill, you're right.
There's some people. There's some guys
that can take. I just think, bro. I don't know.
But Justin Jefferson will be gone if we talking about that. Justin Jefferson be gone in the top 10, right? So Kevin was picked 17. They wouldn't have been there.
It wasn't still. Yeah,
I'm just saying, just based off the teams that needed receivers, nothing changed, but based off what you know now.
He might. Yeah, honestly, you know what? Thinking like that, he might still fall where he fell.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, they'll take him.
or at least, or you to go ahead and take that. You take the defensive need instead of him. You could do that. But I mean, again, CeeDee Lamb has all the stuff to be great. I think, right? It's just some reason. Like, granted, it's gotten better in these last couple weeks, but some reason, it's just the routine stuff. It don't hit like it's supposed to. So it can be spectacular though. It just don't hit like it's supposed to. It's
Yeah.
like that's kind of how I feel about not as bad when it comes to DK. Well, actually, DK kind of coming to his own right now too. It might have been rough.
All right,
I'm just
fam.
saying.
Yeah, that's the perfect way to get this shit over with.
I'm just saying though,
I
like
don't give a fuck
we
what you talking about with DK, man. Turn that shit off.
dude, doing his deal. Whatever we were supposed to get for him. But granted, he wasn't like he got hyped off a combine. It wasn't like he had college numbers to be like he's the deal like CD did. But I mean, he owning up to what he is supposed to be at least in the system that he's in. So
I do think he played better than he did last year.
yeah, he's stepping up better. I'm still. You asked me my famous question. It's still scary. What are you talking about?
Scary what? He ain't playing like shit this year either.
That's Carson Wentz' fault. I mean, on him.
No, it's fucking not.
It is on Carson Wentz, bro. He ain't getting my day the ball.
Yes, he is. He ain't getting open. That ain't his fault.
No, see, they got Tyler Haneke starting this year, so I mean this year.
I mean, Sam Howell.
No, Tyler Haneke.
Tyler,
Okay. Yeah, you know what Tyler gonna do? Watch.
So we gonna see. We gonna see.
Yeah.
If Terry get off in the next 2 or 3 weeks, then it's definitely Carson Wentz.
That's all I'm saying.
And if he don't get off in the next 2 or 3 weeks, guess what we gonna be saying to you on this show?
I'll concede. I'll have no problem saying I'm wrong. I'll concede if I need to.
Hey, look, chat. We appreciate y'all.
Whoa,
What?
Whoa, brother, slow your roll real quick. I had a question for y'all. I didn't need y'all to answer, right?
No.
Because Lamar's doing it now. Dak did it before. Do y'all believe the betting on yourself is smart? Or do you take your cash if y'all in them situations?
Bet on yourself. Lamar doing a great job this year.
Okay.
I think it all depends. I double down on myself. Like I tell anybody, bro, only you know, right? Only you know how much you're worth. Only you can control. Now, from the quarterback position, yes, I say bet on myself because why at the quarterback position you're 100% in control. Yeah. You're 100% in control, right? So we either gonna win because of me or we're gonna lose because of me, right? So yes, I do think betting on himself. I mean, and it's still early, bro. He still can hit a stride in the middle of the season, right? So it's all about. I always tell people, bro, it's all about what team is hot right now.
Right.
Right. So Jacksonville was hot at the beginning of the season. They've lost 3 straight games.
Yes.
Right. Right now the Jets are hot. Right now the Giants are hot. That's not gonna last all year. Right. It's gonna fall off at some point.
Hopefully.
The Colts are getting hot. Right. These teams is gonna switch. Every quarter of the season is gonna switch. So and Lamar's sake is still plenty of time. Yeah. And the most important time is gonna come between week 9 and week 17. Thanks. When that playoff season starting to happen. Cincinnati probably another one of them teams who wasn't hot at the beginning. Now they starting to get hot. They're starting to figure it out. So I mean, I think Lamar got plenty of time between week 9. I do like that he's betting on himself. Yes.
Understood. Speaking of turnaround starts tomorrow, fellas. All right, that's all I needed.
AZ about touchdowns.
No worries.
I ain't tolerating Darius disrespect today, y'all, because he ain't gonna disrespect me. We appreciate everyone coming out today. Show's probably gonna go a little bit longer than normal. We got a lot more stuff to talk about now. A lot of people are interacting in the chat. So y'all just stay tuned in. Follow us on YouTube, Final Possession. Hit that follow button on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube. Hit that follow button on Twitch, Final Possession. Other than that, y'all got any takeaways this week? Chargers did get a dub this week. I know we didn't talk about them, but I want to give them their flowers for getting a dub this week.
Appreciate it.
I need the Saints to play better this week. And actually let's get some fucking wins on the board.
All we gotta do is look, man, steal a dub or put up a good fight. Take these 10 days, get right, get healthy. We get healthy. I feel like everything changes.
Man, that injury report long as my last name,
You
fam.
hear me? Hey, but luckily this game is on both teams, so maybe it's just we get lucky. We can still win.
D
Hold-
Hop hey, Nuke.
Hey, Alante Taylor time to grow up. He gets to play this week. Grow up time.
Chauncey Gardner trade looks more and more pedestrian from the Saints. But anyway, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all rocking. Also, Roby getting his ass torched still.
Okay.
But other than that, Darius, you got any takeaways?
Both up, man.
Lazoo?
Oh man, you know who that nation, bro. See us tomorrow.
See us tomorrow. Hey, see y'all next week.
Nah, he talking about
How about
the
the
Saints.
Saints? Who
Oh,
that nation?
yeah. See us tomorrow. Who that nation? Other than that, we are out. We love y'all. Peace.
Peace and elbow grease.